Hey, I want to let everyone know about what I stated regarding this atrocious murder that took place. The police officers that should be held accountable for what they did, they should be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. I said that this has been going on long before now. Officers take advantage of authority and abuse their power. And obviously I got replies saying that not all cops are bad, which I know that. There's good and bad. And just like not all white people or black people or anyone else are bad. And they're not all criminals, and they're not all bad. And doing this to the town as they're doing is going to make it look bad for their people. It's going to cause the town to be boarded up. Insurance companies won't want to insure anyone in the area, just breeding more poverty, more problems, and that's a pure shame on their people. And that's what that person said, and my reply was spot on. I said so many people keep putting Caucasian people down as racist or other creeds down as all bad, but there is good and bad in all. Just as one bad apple can rot the bunch, one good person can change the understanding of an entire group. And I said, sadly, so many people create a bad rep for the entire group, but we all have good and bad. We all need to show the bright side more often and encourage one another to do the right thing and uplift regardless of skin, political affiliation, non-affiliation, belief, or anything else. I love all no matter what, as long as they are kind-hearted and treat others with kindness. Then I went on and continued, also, you are exactly right. Destroying your town and acting in a non-civilized manner makes an entire group look bad. Out of chaos comes control. The more chaotic we become, the more susceptible to control we become. Then a real totalitarian retaliation of leadership can ensue. Not this president necessarily, not this administration necessarily, but any leadership that can show force. Those calling for violence on any side, whether Dem or Democrat, Republican, any side, should be ashamed of themselves. We must show the best in ourselves while still holding those accountable who commit such heinous acts of murder and violence. And that's a fact. That's how I feel. Another thing that's annoying in the society, though, is how the federal government, the feds, the Federal Reserve, they can print money all the time on debt. Yet maybe one person accidentally passes on a fake bill, and that happens. That's incorrect justice. But this person totally agreed with me. Kenneth Radke says 3 minutes ago, he totally agreed to, it seems they always try to create more divide by doing something atrocious like this every so often. And it does seem that way. Not enough divide in the news. Not enough divide in the media. Not enough to bring people more divide. Even though many might have been more in isolation due to this particular virus pandemic and the rules and regulations being set about, control being set about by this, because of this, now they decided to bring people together, they stated. But it wasn't enough that people were trying to get along and be together. They needed to create more chaos. So another mass event like this takes place. Another event on the world stage winds up separating us even more instead of letting us focus upon what unites us instead of what divides us. There's not one difference amongst us worth all of the separation and divide that we see created today, and that has been for many, 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 many years. Not just the past 4, not just the past 8, but many, many years. It's got to stop. And people are going to have to wake up and realize that there's not one difference among us worth this divide. And the similarities amongst us create a more common goal. And the common goal is a functional society of peace and love and true kindness. How difficult is that? Lord bless you all. Get along and do unto others as you would want them to do unto you, and treat them with kindness. Remember the golden rule. But I don't understand. It seems they always try to create more divide. Every so often, they have to create that divide. People were trying to get along and come together too much, weren't they? So something like this has to take place. Rest in peace to the individual who went through those atrocious, heinous actions. I hope